This is the interior of Chartres Cathedral in France, an architectural wonder designed to feel like a vision of heaven. Built around 1200, its backstory begins around the year 1000, when a massive building boom swept across Europe. Suddenly, every sizable city and town competed to build a new, more impressive cathedral to glorify God and demonstrate their piety. This building boom would dramatically change the course of European art and architecture, and it all began as a response to millennial anxiety. On January 1st, 1000, the Christians of Europe woke up, amazed to be alive. They had expected the year 999 to end in the apocalypse, the fiery destruction of the world. The Bible's book of Revelations warned that a great red dragon would sweep down the stars from heaven in a cosmic battle. But 999 did not end with the apocalypse. The stars remained in the sky. The year 1000 started the new millennium as ordinarily as any other year. Having been spared the apocalypse, the people of Europe wanted to give thanks to God. So they built magnificent new churches. And they built them almost entirely of stone. Wood had long been the preferred material for construction in deeply forested Europe. The region's indigenous pagan cultures were master woodworkers. When they converted to Christianity, they built grand wooden churches, but few survive. Lit by a forest of candles inside, they burned down at an alarming rate. Stone resists fire. It became the favorite material in the church building boom. Instead of woodworkers felling logs, hewing planks, sawing, and nailing, teams of stonemasons spent years hauling, measuring, carving, and fitting heavy stone blocks to form a building's walls, ceilings, and decorative elements. Stone was a demanding material to use, but it offered valuable rewards. A stone church evokes a feeling of permanence, solidity, and enduring faith. In a large open space made of stone walls, as in the nave of a church, the acoustics elevate every song and prayer into a glorious artistic experience. To engineer these large-scale stone structures, the builders used arches and barrel vault ceilings. These gracefully curved forms are beautiful to look at, and they are structurally necessary. Stone is too heavy for a simple post and lintel structure. A curved arch offers stronger support by gradually channeling the weight into reinforcing buttresses and the foundation. This style of stone construction, using arches and barrel vault ceilings, has come to be called Romanesque architecture. The word simply means like the Romans or in the Roman style. It is Roman-like because the ancient Romans used arches and barrel vaults to build their large-scale structures, such as the famous Colosseum amphitheater. The 11th and 12th century builders pushed the possibilities of stone construction. Because the new stone churches were designed to accommodate large crowds of people visiting on pilgrimage, the builders had to engineer stone walls for massive proportions. Pilgrimage was a physical and spiritual journey made by medieval people to demonstrate complete devotion to God. It was a medieval person's major life experience. As a pilgrim, one traveled vast distances to visit pilgrimage churches that housed holy relics. Relics are the physical remains of a holy person, their body or bodily parts, such as the skull of a saint, or significant objects associated with that person, such as Jesus' crown of thorns. Pilgrimage churches preserve these sacred bones and objects in jewel-covered reliquaries. The goal of pilgrimage was to come in close contact with these sacred remains and pray to them, connecting with the holy presence. A favorite destination was the Cathedral of St. James de Compostela in Spain, which housed the body of St. James. Its Romanesque architecture was designed to accommodate throngs of visiting pilgrims. The doors remained open at all hours of the day and night, so the arriving pilgrims could enter the church anytime, move through the side aisles that ran along the perimeter, expressly for visiting pilgrims, and visit reliquary shrines, all without interrupting the ceremonies happening in the main central area of the church. Pilgrims traveled months or years by foot, horse, or donkey, stopping at smaller pilgrimage churches along the way. Remote roads through deep, dark woods were dangerous. You might encounter robbers, bears, or boars. Pilgrimage was big business in medieval Europe. Churches sold souvenirs. Local inns provided lodging and meals for profit. And the builders of the new stone churches engineered ever more impressive techniques for making the architecture as magnificent as possible. The more awe-inspiring the church, the more the local economy would draw throngs of tourists. By using pointed arches, stonemasons discovered they could make the walls and the ceilings taller, since the pointed arch is even stronger than the round arch associated with the Romans, who generally built with lighter concrete rather than heavy stone. The pointed arch led to a breakthrough in stone construction, the ribbed groin vault. Instead of a round barrel vault, we now have a system of intersecting pointed arches reinforced by a rib or ridge of stone. This will be a game changer. At a church like Durham Cathedral in England, the new ribbed groin vault system has allowed the stoneworkers to construct a ceiling that is 78 feet high, imposing and thrilling, as if the building were reaching straight up to heaven. Soon, the builders of cathedrals would be on a quest to make the tallest, thinnest, seemingly lightest stone structure, in which stone seems to become lace and the church presents a vision of heaven on earth. These are the features of the new Gothic architectural style, which breaks off from the Romanesque style around 1150. This Cathedral of Notre Dame at Chartres is a prime example. The word Gothic is a misnomer. No one in the 1100s or 1200s ever thought to use the term Gothic to describe Chartres Cathedral or any other stone church. The term was used centuries later. The medieval world described this new architecture as the French style or the royal style, for it was born in Paris for a specific purpose. It emerged in Paris at the Abbey Church of Saint-Denis for the purpose of glorifying the French kings and queens. Abbot Suger, who was in charge of the church, the burial church for French royalty, was also a major political player. He conducted business on behalf of the French crown, and he redesigned the church to glamorize the French royal line. Suger exploited the potential of ribbed groin vaulting. He directed a redesign of the church that opened the walls and installed vast quantities of stained glass. Filling the interior with jeweled light, the fabulously expensive stained glass symbolized the divine light of God and the divine right of kings. Abbot Suger's vision is most fully realized in the Sainte-Chapelle, built by King Louis IX. Here, Gothic architecture of light and height reaches its ultimate expression. The stone structure has become a thin webbing, and the entire building seems to be fabricated entirely from colored light. King Louis IX, known as the Saint King for his zealous piety, spent extravagant sums of money to purchase the crown of thorns, which he got from the Byzantine emperor, who was hard up for cash. Louis built the Sainte-Chapelle as the monumental reliquary for his precious new possession. He had the ultimate relic and now the ultimate sacred Christian architecture. The so-called Gothic style of architecture, then, was not just about technical advances in stone construction. As the royal style, it had a lot to do with questions of class, status, and power. Romanesque pilgrimage churches were built for the masses, of solid stone. Sainte-Chapelle was built for God and King, of light itself.